Hi everyone, this is Anson from AnsonAlex.com, and earlier this year I published a multi-part video series on using Gmail here in 2013. In that video series, which I'll link in the description of this video here on YouTube, I talked about the new Compose Mail window that Gmail has implemented. But a lot of my viewers have asked for some more information on that Compose Mail window. They don't like using it, so in this video, I'm going to show you some of the features that come along with that new window, how you can resize that window, and even how you can revert to the old Compose Mail window here in Gmail, at least temporarily. So I hope this video helps, and enjoy it, everyone. Okay, so here I am in my Gmail account, and obviously to get the new Compose Mail window to appear, I'm going to go to the top left of my screen and I'm going to click Compose. Now you'll notice that this window pops up in the very bottom right of my screen, and this is what a lot of people don't like about this window. It's because it used to be a full screen window. You had a lot more room to work with. There were a few more options front and center here in regards to how you can compose your message. So a couple of things I want to talk about first is I want to talk about some of the benefits of this window. First of all, one that I just recently discovered is that you can compose multiple messages at once. So if I go ahead and I hit compose again, now I've got two messages open, so I could send this one to anson4@gmail.com and I could send this one to webmaster@ansonalex.com. Now there's obviously multiple reasons why you might want to use this. It's going to depend on your specific situation, but I also want to show you that you can minimize these windows. So let's say I want to concentrate on the webmaster email. I could minimize this new message and it goes down here to the bottom. At the same time, I could also minimize both of them, and now I could go and I could move around within my email account. So I could go to my all mail folder. I could go back to my inbox. I could go to my any labels that I have, and then I could open up an email and say, oh yeah, I have some information in this email that I want to use. Oh, this is what I need. I need this line right here. I'm just going to go ahead and copy that. Now I can pop open the email that I was composing, and I could go ahead and I could paste that in. At the same time, I can navigate through my email with this window open. So to me, this is the biggest benefit. I'm composing an email. A lot of times I'll need an address, a phone number, and I say, oh no, it's in my email. Well, if I have my message full screen here, I can't navigate through my email to find the address or phone number I'm looking for. So definitely remember that you can do that. Now, I want to show you a few things for those of you who don't like this feature. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close out this new message and I'm just going to keep one open here. So again, bottom right corner of my screen, let's say I don't like this and I want to pop this window out. What I can do is I can click on this button at the top right of my window here to go into full screen mode, which isn't really full screen, but I guess it's kind of close. So if I click that, you'll see that it's now much bigger. I have a lot more room to work with here, and it looks more similar to the old Compose message screen or window that Gmail offered. Now at the same time, let's say I want to compose a message in an entirely new tab. If I mouse over this icon at the top right here, it says I can exit full screen. However, if I hold Shift, look what happens when I press Shift. The arrow appears differently. If I hold Shift and I click this button, it's actually going to open it in a new window. So now I have an entirely new window here that I could compose my message in, yet still have access to my email over here. So that's another option for those of you who just don't like this new Compose message window. Now, in order to pop it back in, I can click on this button again, and it's going to go down to the bottom right. Now, for those of you who are watching this video solely to go back to the old way of composing Gmail, I'll show it to you now. So when you've got your new message window open here, you can see that I have this little arrow, upside down triangle at the bottom right of my screen that says more options. And if I click on it, I've got a few options here. And one of them is to temporarily switch back to the old Compose. So if I click that button, it's going to say that the old Compose is going away soon. So this isn't permanent, but you can change back for a little while if you'd like. So I could go ahead and I could hit temporarily switch back. And now you'll notice that my email reloads here. And if I go and click Compose, it opens up in the window just like it used to before. I've got my attach a file button up here just like it was before. Now I'm going to talk about attaching files in a minute here with the new Compose, but I just wanted to show you that you can currently revert to the old system, but don't get too comfortable because Gmail's telling us that it's going to go away. But if you want to do it, that's how you can do it. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back to the new Compose experience because there's a few more things I want to show you. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to my new messages here. It's going to try and give me a little bit of a tour. All right, I'm giving the tour, right? This is my tutorial, so I don't need Gmail's tour. So I'm going to say I got it. Now, here I am. I still have my new message window in the bottom right. I'm going to click on that drop-down list again because there's another option that I think a lot of you might find beneficial. You can actually default to viewing it in full screen. So if I click that button, and then I close out this message and I go to compose a new one, you'll notice that it pops up in full screen for me instead of just popping up in the bottom right-hand corner. So this is a good middle ground solution for those of you who might like some of the features of the new Compose, but you just don't like that it's so small. You can actually default to have it open up in full screen. So that's definitely an option for some of you out there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shrink this back in, because I want to talk about a few other things now. Just like in the old Compose Mail window, if we wanted to add a carbon copy or blind carbon copy field, we can click these buttons over here to the right. Now, as I'm talking about carbon copy and blind carbon copy, I actually want to address a specific issue that one of my viewers had and they emailed me about. Might help out some of the rest of you, so I want to talk about it real quick. So let's say I'm messaging multiple people here. I could have even gone to my contacts and pulled in a list of people, which is actually the specific situation that this viewer was talking about. But I'm just going to put some email addresses in here. I'm going to put 3 of them, because what this viewer specifically asked was, they said, hey, I go to my contacts, I have a list of people that I want to send this email to. I put them in, I add them to the to field, but I don't want them all in the to field. I want them in the carbon copy field. How can I get them to the carbon copy field? And it's actually pretty simple. Let me go ahead and let me reopen this carbon copy field. And if you want to just move 1 or 2 of these people over, you can actually just click and drag that one person over, and they'll go into the carbon copy field. Now, just like in other systems and other areas of your computer, if I want to select multiple of these people at once, on a Mac, I can hold the Command key, or on a Windows, I can hold the Control key. I can select one person. I've already got this one selected. Then I could go ahead, hold Control or Command, and select the second one. And you'll notice that both of these email addresses are highlighted in blue. I could then click and drag them to the carbon copy field, or drag them back. Now, the third option is that, let's say I want to select everybody in my to field. I can use the Select All shortcut, which on a Mac is Command A, and on a Windows it's Control A. So I'm on a Mac. If I press Command A, you'll notice that all 3 of my contacts are selected, and I could then move them into the carbon copy field. So that might help some of you out there. It's a request that was emailed specifically to me, so I definitely wanted to address that. Now, a few other things I want to talk about are mainly formatting your text and adding attachments, because that is something that's quite a bit different here in the new Compose experience in Gmail. If we go to the very bottom of our Compose window, you'll notice that we have this formatting options button. And when I click that, all of the same formatting options that I had before in the old Compose window are now available. So if you are one of those people that's been looking for this area, there it is. You just have to click this button. If you click it again, it's going to disappear. I'll tell you that I think Gmail is really trying to shrink things, make things more simple, easier, smaller. So that's why they've hidden this window until you click on it. You're not going to be able to see it. They're just trying to make things a little more straightforward. Moving on to the attached files. If you want to just attach a file just like you used to in the old Gmail experience, you can just click on this paperclip. You're going to get a box that pops up. You can go ahead and you can look through your computer to find the specific file that you're looking for. So if I go into here, I could go ahead and I could attach, I don't have any logos. Let's see what I've got in images. I've got something from Facebook. So, I could go ahead and I could attach that file and it goes in there. Now, alternatively, you can drag and drop. So if I do go into, I want to show my logo, AntonAlex.com, check it out. It's cool. This video will be on there as well, obviously, for those of you who watch a lot of my videos. But I'm just going to go into this 2013 folder. I'm going to go back into the images, and let's just say I wanted to attach a different one of these folders. I could go ahead and I could click and I could drag it right in the body of my email, and it goes right in there. So a lot of you like drag and drop. You can definitely do that with the new Compose experience here in Gmail. Now, alternatively, you could also insert files directly from Google Drive. So if you're using Google Drive, you can go ahead and click on this insert, and it will take you to My Drive, where you could select certain files you might have in there. I don't have any in this account. A few other options. You could insert photos. That just puts them in the actual email. Like when I dragged and dropped this, you'll notice it's in the email. When I just attached the other one, it didn't show up in the actual body of the email. The user would have to download it. So that's up to you. really depends on the situation. You can insert smileys, and then of course you could insert links. This would be for if you don't want the link to appear exactly how it is, because I could just type the link ansonalex.com in here, and there's a link in my email, but if I then highlight that and I click on the link button, it turns into a real link, and I could go ahead and I could change it so that it's going to go to ansonalex.com, but the text that I want it to display is Anson's website. So that's how you can modify some of the links in your email. Works very similar to before, just that button is in a different place. And then, of course, if you want to delete the email, you can go ahead and hit the trash can to discard the draft. When you're ready, you can hit send. So I really hope that some of the information I provided for you in this video has helped, especially those of you who are frustrated with the new Compose here in Gmail. Try using the full screen, full window, whatever you want to call it. Maybe try popping it out. Remember, press Shift and it pops into a new window. If you want to pop it back in, you definitely can. Remember that if you need to find something in your email, you can always minimize the window, go through your email, find what you're looking for. And if worse comes to worse, at least temporarily, you can click on the drop-down list and you can temporarily switch back to the old version of composing emails here in Gmail. That's all I have for you today. This is an addendum. This is an add-on to my 2013 video series on using Gmail, which is linked in the description of this video here on YouTube. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up here on YouTube. And if you want to see more technology tips and tutorials, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. This is Anson from ansonalex.com.